Um, so I have this requirement for the design of the software that I need to develop. I want to achieve something like this, which I was able to achieve with languages like Python, right? It's yeah, it's a it's a Python. There's no strict typing, right? So I was able to modularize the application this way. Why? What is this? This is a is based on event sourcing, where we play with basically in event sourcing we are dealing with a couple of concepts, right? Entity, state, command, event, right? So the system, your application has an entities. Each entity has n states, and within each state, you react to it handles comments and a comment handling produce event, and event applying event on the entity makes the entity uh, you know change to a new state or another state, right? So that's the basic idea. What we are interested in is having a journal of events, right? Yeah, that sounds simple, and but since we're using Scala, which is actually there's a strong reason for using uh, language like Scala for this. I was able to achieve this without much difficulty in Python because there's no we don't have a strict type checking, so you just need to be careful about the object that you pass in each one of this part. Yeah, and pray, pray that of course, with your test cases, you at least try to cover to detect those errors right before you deploy. But with Scala, with its type system, we should be able to check those constraints, which I'm going to mention in a moment. We should be able to check those constraints during compile time. So, what are the constraints? What I need is like this. Let's say, okay, an entity can accept comments, right? Accept comment. Okay, but I want to restrict, let's say, for entity X. Let's say there is a class entity X. There's a base class entity, right? Uh, and this base class entity has like a like a inner type called comment, right? But it has a handle comment, right? Okay, I want uh, this handle comment inside entity X to only accept comment uh, comment defined inside this class. Let's say class comment x1, right, like this, right? Extends entity comment x2. So I want this same handle comment only to accept x1 or x2. So that means if I have another entity y, for example, y1, y2, y1, y2, then there's a in your main you got entity x1, entity x2, entity y1, and then you get a comment x1, which is a comment x1, and comment y1. This should compile entity x1 handle cmd x1. This should compile, but this one should not compile because it only accepts command of these types, right? This one should not compile. Whoa. Okay, it's like the basic objective. Actually, it's more complicated than that. Yeah, so it's more complicated because we have other requirements. Basically it's an extension to this. So okay, the state should be now there's a state, right? The state inside this entity also needs to be declared here in this entity X. So yeah, so there should not be possibility that entity X go to a state that is declared in another entity, right? Because that wouldn't make sense. And furthermore, the in this case we're going to move this command handle command to the state instead of an entity. So furthermore, here the handle command of state x1 should only accept the command declared inside this entity. So it's like yeah, we were just going further down the tree, right? Basically, with these constraints. I tried using the first without type tagging, just by using generic in Scala. So I have it here. Git switch experiment. This doesn't compile. I'm going to show you why. Hey, no, not this one. Let's compile this. The one that okay. Git switch. I think the problem is because of type erasure. I don't know exactly how that worked. Experiment 2 erasure. Okay. Why? Give me a second. Okay, it's compiling. Main. What the fuck? Oh yeah, here. No. Why? Give me a second. No. Oh, I forgot to commit. Give me a second. And git switch experiment. With tagging. Git yeah. Okay. Now I can switch to the branch with the problem related to erasure. What the fuck? Git switch. Yeah. So you can see here's the compile error. First, it shows a warning, like this one, limited by erasure. do I want to do here? Yeah, so I have this is the framework, basically all the type constraints. We have trade entity, we have inside the type entity we have command, event, and state. So here you can see I want to specify that the state, the kind of event accepted by the state should be the type of command accepted by the state should be a command that is declared, in the same class, subclass of entity. The same goes for event, and also this is the next state. The next state is also, it's like recursive state. This is also a state, return the new state, but this new state should also be a state, a type of state defined in the same entity class. So I tried it this way. It doesn't compile. What is the error? With underlying SSX required SS. So what is this? Well, actually, this complication is because I was trying to. I thought, oh, maybe I just need to delegate more, but no, this delegation it just doesn't. Delegation, quote unquote, right? Because it, how do I explain that? What is this SSX? Give me a second. Give me a second. The generic type. Oh yeah, basically, I was playing with this concept, like, let's say, covariant, contravariant, things like that. I thought, oh, maybe it would solve the problem, but nope. So basically, I'm saying that I'm trying to say that, okay, what is this? Apply and recommend. This is the initial state, like the current state, and this is the next state. The next state could be doesn't have to be the same type of current state, because that wouldn't make sense. So, but it can be any state declared inside the same entity class, right? Well, not to waste your time, it just doesn't work. So this way, yeah, this is the problem. So obviously here, generic has its limitations, right? So probably with type tagging, we can have a simpler solution that works. So let's switch to the one with tagging. Experiment with tagging. Boom. All right. I'll make a scaled down version like this one. So we got, and well, I'm using a library from Software Mill called, what is this? No, not this one, not Shapeless. I guess this one. From the library called Scala Common. Yeah, the reason I'm not using this Shapeless, because this one looks like more like simpler. I just need the tagging, not the whole suite of, I don't know. This library is bigger, so I think this should work for me. Softwaremill.common tagging, right? Okay, what's the idea here? Okay, this is the base. This is the base entity. So I declare a tag. Because I'm basing this solution to this statement. An instant tag with tag is that. Okay. Uh, Basically, uh, what's basically, yeah, trying to apply this principle basically. Um, Entity. So basically, I'm saying that this method should accept an object of type command that is tagged with you know, certain tag, right? So the base of those tags is this one, entity base tag. Okay, which is declared here. It's just a marker. So a more specific type of entity, let's say this one, and entity X. The idea is inside the entity X, you declare your own tag, which is based on this base tag, and then you replace this generic type. You replace this with this entity X tag. So instead of base tag, now X tag. So this should render, if you try to imagine the compiler, maybe at compile time, this will change to entity X tag, right? Basically, okay. By doing the replacement here. Okay, what is this? No, let's forget this for a while. I was trying another solution. So now inside entity X, we declare our comments, extends entity comment. Okay, cool. Now here, when we try to push the comment, we have to tag it with the correct tag. Let's say what would happen during compile time if we don't tag this. You get this type mismatch, right? Because it expects a certain type. Okay, that's fine. Actually that's what I'm expecting, right? Cool. Now let's have another type of entity Y. The same thing. You declare your own tag, entity Y tag, replace the TG generic tag. You declare your comment here, and then you push the comment. Now this push comment here should not accept uh, command, should only accept this command, right? Check in. And sorry, let me be more specific about that. This push command here should only accept instance of command that is tagged with entity Y tag, right? That means if we pass in an object which is tagged with entity X tag, this shouldn't compile, which is what I'm expecting, and this is what we're seeing now. So to make it compile, you should make sure in your code that you pass in the correct type, that is a command that is tagged with entity Y, right? Entity Y tag, and this one will compile perfect. But this is not done yet. I mean, what happens if I do it this way? Oh, sorry. Boom. Fuck. Man. Yeah. What happened if I do it this way? I cross to the entity X, and I lie here by tagging it with entity y. I I expect this shouldn't compile, should not, but it does compile. So yeah, so the solution is not, it's not perfect. The question is now how to make it not compile. And we shouldn't allow tagging a command declared in entity X with a tag declared in entity Y. So that's basically the problem statement. I haven't found the solution. So if you know how to do that, please write in the comment. I try this one as well. Let what happened if I declared a comment here, right? So the idea is, sorry. Undo. Here. Oh yeah, I already. What happened is if I declared a command here. Give me a second. Only into the command. Oh yeah, right. First I tried it this way. Of course, it doesn't compile. It's a syntax error instead. In fact, so well, let's declare a command here inside of entity X. So basically, we're saying okay, all the comments declared here should extend, instead of entity.command, it should extend the command, this one, right? Boom. Nope. Error. Class type required, but blah blah blah. I don't understand what the error means. Then I tried as well like this. The same basically, it's just aliasing, right? I don't know. Class type required. Class type. I don't know. How do I convert that to class type in Scala? Type? No. What else? Class? Nope. Type? No. Is there anything in shapeless library? Sorry. This software milk tagging library that can help solve this problem? I don't know. Let's try. Nope. So yeah, that's my current challenge. See ya.